Hello, my friends on YouTube. Uh, I've been hiding for a while because I didn't really want to know. I didn't want to talk while the election and the inauguration is happening until the dust settles. And it did settle, and we know on the 20th. Today is Monday, the 25th of January 21, and the event the shameful event that took place in Washington, D.C. on January 20th by inaugurating. I'm not going to say this guy's name because he honestly is unworthy to say his name, and I suggest to everyone to be sarcastic when you say his name. From now on, we'll call him Sloppy Joe or Beijing Joe, and his vice. Her name is Camel Harassment. That is, we have to really get them to taste what they have done. A bit of taste of their own medicine. Okay, today's uh, video, I give it the title Submit or Else. Submit or Else. Two ideologies, they use this tactic or this title actually. One, they use it verbally, and one use it substantially. They apply it without saying it. The word submit or else started by Muhammad when after he migrated to Medina from Mecca, and he started to have a strong army, and he started to invade villages, and he became very powerful. Then he started to send letters to the kings of the surrounding area. And one of these kings was the Caesar of Rome. He sent him a message telling him to become a Muslim. And underneath or hidden or else. And that else is, I will destroy you. I'll take over your country. I will subdue your women. I'll take them as sex slaves, and so on and so forth. So that was Muhammad's attitude when he gained power. Socialism, communism, they don't say it verbally, but they do the very same thing practically. And by stealing the election from President Trump, I'm afraid that video might be removed, but we have to say what we have to say. And if it's removed, we're going to see if we can find another way to uh, communicate. Probably it will be a good idea if everybody send me his or her email, and in case if we get suspended from YouTube, we can, now there are other options. So Sloppy Joe and socialist system in comparison to what's in Islam. Both ideology, they don't give you freedom. The Islamic system, we know that they have the caliphate, and the caliphate is the one on top, and he gives the word as if he was God, I'm sorry, as if he were God, and it goes down and everybody has to follow. The same thing in the communist system or the socialist system, the top leader gives the direction and everybody must follow. If you don't, you're killed. Now, When I started this channel, my objective was actually to uh, expose the filth in Muhammad's teaching. However, at certain point, I stopped talking about Muhammad, and about 6 months ago, I uh, gave, uh, I made a video calling the primary enemy and the secondary enemy, and I'm going to put the description of this video in the description box. You can watch it if you want. Uh, in my opinion, the primary enemy back then it was Islam. However, things have changed, and the primary enemy really it became socialism, communism. And unfortunately, the young people in schools, in college, they get programmed by this ideology that it's a wonderful ideology. And since the 70s, this started the influence of the Soviet Union. Actually, maybe before that, but they started to teach how wonderful um, communism and socialism is in colleges. And there was no counter teaching, something to explain that this is wrong, until those who graduated in the 70s and 80s, now they are professors and they are so happy with this teaching, and they are teaching to young kids, and there is nothing to stop them now. I am going to look for people who know or studied the roots of communism in depth, uh, Hegelism, Marxism, Leninism, and so on and so forth, who are expert in the field. And if you can, or if you know somebody who is trained in that field, we can arrange to get their voice heard, because we are really in a very dangerous situation that now, especially the Muslim and the socialist, will team together to try to destroy freedom and the West. And we have to be very mindful of that. I know that there are very prominent people on YouTube now. They are actually combating this by standing against communism. I'm sorry, they are actually teaching, they are talking against Twitter, Facebook, um, YouTube, and so on, because they became totalitarian, similar to the Islamic teaching. And I'm okay with that. However, the real root of the problem, believe it or not, it's not YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. The real root of the problem, and we can borrow from Jewish tradition that phrase, the original sin. The original sin is not Twitter, is not YouTube, it is not uh, any of these. The original sin, it is actually the teaching of Marxist ideology in colleges. And these people who started YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, they were educated in these colleges, and they got first infected in colleges by the teaching of Karl Marx. And they think it is the most wonderful teaching, and therefore they are using their money and influence. And by the way, we are the one who gave them that influence by participating in their technology. Okay, but we can take that back from them. All right, so they are the ones who got infected by these ideologies, and they are spreading it through their platform. And if you know any of these people, if you talk to them directly, those who are fighting Twitter, Facebook, YouTube online, they have huge followers uh, and on their videos. Please communicate to them that it's not the time to fight Islam now. It's not the time even to fight these people now. It's the time to fight socialist ideology because it is the very root of the problem. Socialist ideology produced to us those people who came and they are influencing everyone else to believe and to think that socialism is very good and it will help us. Now, actually, we here in America are about to lose our freedom because of that. And there is something actually I said um, maybe a while ago that I can't remember exactly when, maybe 5, 6 months ago, that China will collapse within a short time because it will last only 70 years, similar to the former Soviet Union. The Soviet Union started 1917 and it collapsed 1987 and it came to its end 1989. However, uh, socialism in China started 1949, so by 2019 it should end or 2021. But because of the development in the election of America and the installment of that sloppy Joe as a president of America and his dedicated socialist Marxist camel harassment, uh, things have changed. So I take this back, and this because it's not etched in stones. This was from my experience, I'm talking, since this took 70 years, like it's a natural progress that people come to the realization that this ideology did not work and it's time to go. But there is a new lease now on that communist ideology, and we cannot really say it is 70 years, how long it will take. At the end, it will collapse because it's actually false ideology. But how it will collapse? This is the question. These people are ruthless, and whatever comes similar to Islam, whatever comes on their path has to be destroyed. That's it. The end justifies the mean. So we have to really combat these ideologies, the communist, Marxist ideology first, and then from there we can advance. America now is a really in a very difficult situation, and because of that, uh, uh, you have all these people taking charge of uh, America. They are all Marxist. The White House, two Marxists running the White House, the Senate, and the Congress run by mainly socialist agenda, Chinese agenda. So yeah, we can fight the social media because they are a huge influence. But as I stopped talking about Islam because I liken Islam like if a rat or mice enter into your house, that is not going to destroy your house overnight, or it's not going to, you can still close the hole that where they entered, and you can poison them, you can kill them, you can trap them. There are many ways to get rid of them. And that was my understanding of Islam and still is. Okay? It's easier to get rid of Islam than communism because Islam, it's based on an illusion. So is communism, but communism is an ideology that it has a lot of intellectual people in it. The problem is that's why it's more dangerous than Islam now, and that's why I'm talking again. I'm no longer talking about Islam because it's really secondary now. The evil of Islam in comparison to communism, socialism, it's secondary. And there are plans that uh, uh, China now to take over, starting now Hong Kong, it's gone. Taiwan will be annexed soon, and the Philippines next, the all the Southeast Asia that will be by force taken by China. And the West is infected. The young people are infected with this ideology, as it is a fine ideology, and I don't know why they are really so brainwashed to a point that uh, look at Venezuela, North Korea, Cuba, all these countries. They don't take that into consideration. So in a way, we are way behind now. That there is danger. So if you know of people who are trained in criticizing uh, Marxism, Leninism, we can arrange to bring their word out, because we have to do something, because the situation is dire now. We appreciate, I'm sorry that it took me a long time until I come back, uh, but I appreciate your comments, and let's be in touch. Thank you. Bye.